Let's talk about grounding, the most underrated health benefit that you can do that's completely free is to go outside and walk barefoot in nature. The earth has a negative charge. The atmosphere has a positive charge. This is not woo-woo magic, this is physics. So follow along and I'll teach you everything I know about grounding. So if you are wearing shoes, you are tailoring your body to align its electric charge with the atmosphere, which is positively charged environment. The Earth has a slight negative charge. This is why lightning goes from ground to the sky, because there's a difference in charge. Your body needs to be slightly negatively charged. Otherwise, if you're slightly positively charged, your blood cells, they start to clump together. They form these tiny little clots because they don't have the negative charge to bounce off each other, because negative charges help the blood cells to push each other away. They have a slight negative charge on the outside surface area of the red blood cells, and if they're not negatively charged, they can end up clumping together and they could potentially cause a clot, or they can cause your blood pressure to change. If your blood is too thick because it's too stuck together, then your heart's got to work harder to pump it because it's more viscous. So you can instantly fix this problem by going outside, walking barefoot in the grass or in the sea or on the beach. This is one of the reasons why you feel better when you're on a holiday and you're barefoot on the beach, because you've grounded yourself properly. And when you live in a city, how many times do you walk barefoot in nature when you live in a city? Probably never, or very rarely. Maybe if you have a garden, you do. But if you're living in New York City, I can't imagine many people there are walking barefoot in Central Park every day. So if you don't walk barefoot in nature, your body will build up a positive charge. This is why when you touch something, you get static electric shocks. If I wear shoes, I walk in a supermarket and I touch the trolley or touch an escalator or something, I get shocked from it because my body is building up a charge, and when I touch something, that charge gets earthed. Well, if you're barefoot, you're constantly earthing yourself with every single step that you take, because every part of your body is conductive. And then you step barefoot on the grass and instantly you align your charge with the charge of the earth. If you have rubber shoes on, plastic shoes or rubber shoes, you are cutting off that connection, and therefore your body is absorbing constantly radiation from the sun and from the general environment, and there's wind that's blowing the surface of your skin. You're constantly losing electrons all day through natural processes, and that's gradually increasing your charge just a little bit each time you lose an electron. You're going to increase your positive charge just a little bit more. And if you do that all day and you never ground, by the end of the day you are quite highly positively charged, and you can measure this on voltmeters. And you need to, as soon as you discharge into the ground, you basically rebalance your electrons again. One of the biggest problems that humans have is that our metabolism, when you're burning food to give you ATP, this process of metabolism generates reactive oxygen species. In chemistry, it's called a free radical. Free radicals are an element or a molecule that has unpaired electrons in it. And in chemistry, having an unpaired electron is really, really bad. They do not like to be alone. They like to have a friend. So if you have a free radical, it's going to go around looking for the nearest electron that it can steal. And it will go and attack your DNA. It can attack double bonds in your fatty acids. Like say you have a monounsaturated fat, which means there's one double bond in that fat molecule, then that free radical can attack that double bond, steal the electron, and then change the chemical properties of that molecule, whatever that molecule was, whether it was a fat or something else. And this causes oxidative stress and damage to your body. And over time, over years, over constantly having free radicals in your body, you build up damage and it eventually leads to disease. This is why when you eat plants, they say they're antioxidants. Antioxidants are chemicals that absorb these free radicals. They basically donate electrons to the free radical and neutralize them. So vitamin C is an example of one of these chemicals. There's lots of different chemicals that do antioxidation. But the easiest way, take your shoes off, walk on the grass, and that walking on the grass gives you free electrons that come into your body, and then they find the free radicals that need that extra electron and they instantly neutralize them. And the quicker you neutralize these free radicals, the less chance they have of hitting a DNA molecule or hitting something else that's going to end up causing you future health problems. It's so simple. Just at least once a day, twice a day, just go, even just standing barefoot in the grass for a few seconds will neutralize these free radicals. But obviously, as soon as you stop doing it, they're going to start to build up again. So I stay barefoot all day, unless for a really good reason I put shoes on. But 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I'm barefoot. So I always keep my body grounded. And since I started doing this every day, my chronic pain has basically gone. I was in pain for 25 years. Can you imagine having pain every day for 25 years and doctors don't know what to do? It's fucking horrible. But nobody ever said to me, why don't you go for a barefoot walk and neutralize the free radicals and improve your health? No one ever said that to me. They just gave me painkillers that didn't work. And then when I said they didn't work and asked for something stronger, they refused because they didn't want to give me opiates. But the pain was absolutely unbearable. But now pain is gone. I have pain when I get injured, but the daily consistent pain has completely gone. And the only things I changed were my diet. I switched to a plant-based diet, which is full of more antioxidants and less of the molecules that cause damage to your body. I'll talk about that in a different video. And walking barefoot. I lived in Spain, so I was walking on the beach every day, and within a few months of being barefoot every day and eating a plant-based diet, my pain was completely gone for the first time in 25 years. Can you imagine what that feels like, to suddenly have no pain when you've had it every day for 25 years and were told there was no cure? You know, we listen to doctors all the time and we think that they're gods and they're the only people that can help us, but sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes there's things that you can do that are far more effective than surgical and medicinal interventions that actually fix the root cause of the problem, not just mask the symptom that that you're experiencing. Well, surely that's the better way. Attack the root cause of the problem and the problem is gone, rather than treat the symptom and all the while you're on this medication or involved in this treatment process, whatever it is, whether it's acupuncture, massage or whatever. If you stop doing the treatment, then the pain can come back, the disease can come back. But you can always walk barefoot every day. You can always control what you eat. So if you fix those two things, you will absolutely dramatically change your life. It's not that hard, I promise. You can't cure everything, obviously. I'm not saying that walking barefoot is going to cure cancer or cure AIDS. There are obviously things it's not going to help with. But it's going to stop your body from getting worse in terms of its general metabolic health. Because if you're constantly in a state where you're poisoning your body. You're literally poisoning your body every day with what you eat. What you eat and drink, unless it's coming from a natural source, your body doesn't know what to do with it. So it goes to the liver. Your liver's trying to figure out how to deactivate these molecules that you're consuming that are man-made. And you're putting stress on your body every single time you eat and drink. And most people have an absolutely horrific diet. They have very little activity. They're never barefoot in nature. And we wonder why we've got such an epidemic of chronic illness. I reckon, and I haven't done an actual study on this. This is from reading thousands of other studies from people. You can eliminate 80% of chronic illness by just basic lifestyle changes. Walk barefoot in nature every day. Why not? For what possible excuse do you have not to do it? Oh, it's dirty. Oh, have a wash. Might tread on something sharp. So what? So what? I jump on rocks all the time and haven't died yet in 35 years of doing it. So yeah, maybe you should stop being a little wuss, maybe. A bit harsh, but just do it, man. What have you got to lose? Absolutely nothing. What have you got to gain? Perhaps transforming your entire life, living without illness, without pain. I wish someone had told me this when I was 10, instead of suffering for 25 years, being told that I was absolutely crazy for not wearing shoes. But every time I didn't wear shoes, I felt better. I had to make excuses as to why I didn't want to wear shoes. I was forced to wear shoes every single day, no matter what. I had no option to be barefoot. Like now, I'm an adult, I have the choice to be barefoot, and I do, and I still get nonsense bullshit from people. Why are you wearing shoes? That's disgusting. Grow up, man. It's the most natural, basic human right to walk barefoot on the earth, man. Get a life. If you're one of these people who's like freaked out by someone else being barefoot, okay, maybe you don't want to be barefoot, that's your choice. But you have no say in what I wear. If I want to walk barefoot in nature, that's none of your fucking business. But I get dirty looks, I get people call me weird names and stuff. I'm like, come on, man. So yeah, balance your electrons. You improve your metabolic function. You improve your blood flow. You improve your heart function. You reduce chronic pain. You put your musculoskeletal system into alignment, because you're supposed to walk on your toes, not on your heels. Because when you walk on your heel, you're smashing your heel bone into the ground, and there's no buffering. There's no spring in your step. When you walk on your toes, you dampen the impact by using your Achilles tendon and your calf muscle. This is why autistic people walk on their toes, because that's how the body is designed to walk. But they're forced to wear shoes and they're forced to walk on their heels and end up causing themselves even more problems. Let them walk how they want to walk. It's none of your business how somebody else walks. Someone walks on their toes, it's their business, not yours. If an autistic person doesn't want to wear shoes, it's none of your business. If you're a parent and you're scared your child's going to hurt themselves, let them hurt themselves, because they'll learn. They'll learn what not to step on. The only way you learn is by actually training your nervous system. You can't learn. Your nervous system doesn't learn by being told what to do. Your nervous system learns by doing it. So, if you touch a hot stove, burn your hands, you have a reflex action, your hand automatically moves away without your conscious control over it. We have reflex points over our entire body. And when you're walking barefoot, you're triggering these reflex points. And when you trigger a reflex, you are sending a signal to your spine. It's an automatic signal. Your brain isn't consciously involved in it. And you stimulate certain processes to happen. You stimulate boosting your immune system, because your immune system is like, okay, well, we've got some activity in this part of the body. We need to send in the troops and make sure that everything's cool. We've not got any invaders. And if you're hyperstimulating an area, it gets red. If you're walking on stones, or if you're walking on really hot ground or really cold ground, then your skin gets red because it's pumping blood to your feet. It's pumping your white blood cells down there so that it can check that, if there's any problems, and it's increasing the blood flow to take that, either that cold or that heat, and recirculate it around the body so it doesn't damage you. So you've got all these processes your body's activating to be in your defense, and it improves your general health. If you boost your immune system every day, then it knows more how to fight infection, because you're giving it experience, you're giving it things to work on. But we live in these sterile environments where we never see nature, and we're just exposed to each other's germs. And no wonder people get sick all the time. We've got these horrible pandemics. I don't understand why people do what they do. So yeah, get barefoot in nature. It's the most simple, most free thing you can do. And if you don't have feet and can't walk, if you're in a wheelchair, touch the grass with your hands. Or you can buy grounding bed sheets for your bed. Buy one of those. So at least, even if you're not walking, you're still getting the electrons from the earth, and you're still neutralizing your free radicals. You're still boosting your blood flow. You're still going to improve your immune system. You're going to have all these extra benefits. You don't get the benefits of the exercise of walking and the stimulation from the ground, which you get from walking barefoot, but you still get the benefits of being grounded. They're not expensive. I have a small grounding mat that I have on my pillow, that when I go to bed, I sleep with my head on the pillow, and it grounds me all night. And then I wake up in the morning, and first thing I do, I go outside and walk barefoot. And when I have my lunch, I have finished lunch, I go for a walk barefoot. I go back to work, I do my stuff, I have dinner, I go for another walk barefoot. I don't stay all day outside, but gradually, a few minutes every few hours, I go for a walk. And when I do that, my health is as good as it's ever been. If I don't do that every day, in the winter, sometimes it gets a bit difficult because it's big, snowstorms here, -20 sometimes. It's too cold to be barefoot outside. So I don't, in the winter, I don't have as good a health as I do in the summer. But, you do the best you can with what resources you have. And it's the number one easiest thing that costs absolutely nothing, because nothing, take your shoes off and just walk. There's not very many people that can't do this. And if you're like, oh, I can't stand the texture of grass on my feet, you're going to need to get over that. Really, if you don't ever train your nervous system, you're just going to get more sensitive. The reason that autistic people are hypersensitive is because their nervous system isn't working properly. So if your baseline dopamine is too low because you never stimulate your body properly, and you're only experiencing external overstimulation, it's painful. When something is too loud, it hurts your ears, it's painful because you haven't got the nervous system capacity to deal with the changing environment. And if you never train your body, you're never going to improve. So if you're autistic or ADHD or just a general chronic pain or whatever, if you have these conditions, then training your nervous system is going to help. So I don't know why people don't do it. Some autistic people will absolutely never, ever, ever be barefoot. My dad, he was autistic, and he was never, ever barefoot, apart from maybe in the shower. But the rest of the time, for the whole 60-odd years he was alive, he was never barefoot. He died of cancer when he was 62. I just don't understand why someone would do that. Now, knowing what I know, experiencing what I've experienced, and talking to loads and loads, millions of people now who are starting to wake up to this. And there's now people promoting barefoot lifestyles on social media. For the first 20 years, I was just regarded as a freak. What kind of freak doesn't wear shoes? You're crazy. But I'm not crazy. I'm a scientist, And my mission in life is to reduce suffering. First on me, first reduce my suffering, and reduce the suffering that I cause to other beings, which is why I don't kill animals for fun. And then the third level of reducing suffering is teaching what I know to help other people that are suffering to reduce their level of suffering. And one of the best ways to do that is just walk barefoot. Anyway, that's enough for this video. Hope it helps someone. Share it, like it, comment below, subscribe, and all that jazz. See you in the next one. Bye.